Hey guys, let's talk about more on the elements of weather. In the past video we discussed about temperature. So in this video we talk more on the other elements of weather, that is the precipitation. Precipitation, this is the water released from the atmosphere in the form of rain, freezing rain, sleet, snow, or hail. So all these are just forms of precipitation that can be released from the atmosphere. It is the primary connection in the water cycle that provides for the delivery of the atmospheric water to the earth. Now let's see the formation of rain. Uh, Here is just how rain it is formed. The first is that the sun's heat causes the water to evaporate from the surface of the oceans, lakes, rivers, and the other water bodies and the land, and also in the process of transpiration where plants lose their water. Now this vaporizes into the atmosphere where it is condensed to form the clouds. Now because of the air that is cool at higher altitudes, the vapor is cooled, it forms the small droplets that join together to form larger droplets or drops, which are then too heavy to remain in the air. In such, they fall as rain. So that's how rain is formed. In the process, we repeat again and again, and that's how forms the water cycle. Let's see the diagram that is showing this rain formation. As you can see, uh, there is the first procedure or the first step is that there is this evaporation whereby water from the ocean and the other water bodies is evaporated. Then there's a condensation where the droplets are joined together. Then the transfer of wind causes to form these droplets together to form clouds, which when they become heavy, they lead to the formation of these cloudy lanes, and that's how the rainy lanes. So that's just a short about the rain formation. Let's see the types of rain. There are three types of rain as explained below. The first one is the convection rain. This convection rain, this is the rain that is formed through the rising of the moist air currents, which condenses at higher altitudes to form clouds that result to rainfall. As you can see in the diagram, these moist air currents they condense at the higher altitudes, because at the higher altitudes it becomes cool. So they condense at higher altitudes to form clouds, which then results to this rainfall. The other type of rainfall is orographic rain or relief rain. Sometimes moist winds are forced by a high mountain to rise, and the moisture in it condenses to form rain. Now, the rain that is formed in this way is what we call the orographic rain. This the side of the mountain facing away from the direction of winds gets little or no rain, because just that part where there is that rising of the moist air and the condensation, so the rain lanes to that other only part, but the other side of the mountain remains dry. This phenomenon is called the rain shadow effect, where one side experiences rainfall and the other one it doesn't. As you can see in the diagram, the formation of this holographic rainfall. The third one is the cyclonic lane, which occurs when the large masses of air with the different characteristics of temperature and moisture meet. Now, as the warmer and the moist air is forced up over the cooler and the dry air, it expands, cools, and then water vapor condenses to form clouds, and then finally it rains. So that's how easily how rain forms in this type, where the moist moist or the warmer air meets with the dry and the cooler air, whereby the moist air will tend to go up, and when it goes up it condenses, then to form these clouds, and eventually forms the rainfall. Let's see the measurement of rainfall. Rainfall is basically measured by an instrument called this rain gauge. Normally the reading is done once every 24 hours. If we need be comments on the nature, type, and the duration of rainfall, should be added to the recording of this type of recording of this rainfall. So as you can see in the diagram, that's a diagram of a rainfall of a rain gauge. The presentation of rainfall data. There are mainly two ways which you can present this rainfall data. The first one is graphs. Rainfall figures entered in the record book for the month or several months can be represented in the form of graphs, which are known as the histograms. Now, histograms are the presentations and the graphical presentations of the rainfall data. As you can see in the diagram, there's an example of a histogram that shows the data of rainfall in a year. The other presentation is using lines, whereby these is shown by these drawing lines on the map to link all the places that receive the same amount of rainfall. Now, these lines are called the isoheights, and they are usually drawn at uniform intervals. So the isoheights are the lines that show the uniform supply or the uniform or the same amount of rainfall that is received within a place. So that's the second way of presenting this rainfall data. Let's see the importance of precipitation. Uh, Here are just few of the importance of precipitation in the weathering of rocks, whereby it dissolves the chemicals in rocks, thus helping to peel them apart. Now, this action is what we call the weathering. The weathered rocks in turn form the soil, whereby weathering is particularly influenced by temperature and rainfall. So, as you can see there, rainfall. The second is that it provides entertaining sites. Some sports such as skiing, skating, etc., take place on the frozen snow. Now, as we've seen that snow is a form of precipitation, so it acts as a playing ground on which numerous games and sports can take place. The third one is that the rain provides us with the water we need for various uses, such as irrigation, drinking, washing, cleaning, etc. The fourth one, that rain is an important component of the water cycle and is responsible for the depositing most of the fresh water on the earth. So it provides these suitable conditions for many types of ecosystems as well as water for the hydropower plants. So these are just few of the importance of precipitation. So that's all for this video. Thank you for listening. We've talked about the precipitation, forms of precipitation. We've talked about the rainfall, formation of rainfall, the types of rainfall, and the importance of precipitation. See you in the next time.